Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I got tons of information for you. Before I get into any of that, let's go to take a look at the zone. We're going to come back and talk about that in just a moment. Let's go to Bitcoin because I actually want to read this to you in real time before it's all said and done. I see that they're up, but I believe that they'll make a new low. So let's go ahead and just kind of do this. All right, so let's just kind of do this. I believe they'll get back down here. Let's just set this here, and then we're going to come back to the NQ. I don't believe that they'll pass. They shouldn't pass this, but I'm gonna do a couple things here. They shouldn't pass this. Okay, let's kind of do this. I'm gonna do this really quickly here. Then we're gonna finish up what we got with the NQ because I gave you guys some information, and I want to make sure that each one of you are absolutely utilizing it. Okay, it's really important that you do that. I be drawing zones all the time. I hope you guys don't mind. Let's They shouldn't end up back up here, but I'm gonna just put this here, just in the likelihood that they'll get this far by the time I finish covering the NQ. I doubt that they'll do this though. I doubt it. All right, so let's just do this. I'm gonna lock this. All right, so yeah, let me lock this one too. All right, so I locked that one. All right. Eh, your worst case scenario here, but I don't think it should come to that. This the center of the chart. Let me do that too while I'm sitting here. This the center of the chart. This the upper, well, center of the chart here, upper portion of the chart, give or take about right here, which is roughly the center of the trend, really. Yeah, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 7. So yeah, 7. So that's roughly, so this is the upper portion of the chart. They shouldn't end up here. They really shouldn't. All right, so let's see if they can go back and make that new low. I'm gonna just do this real fast because I want to do this in real time and kind of mix in the NQ, kind of do all of that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. So if they're going to turn around, they need to get to that. All right. So let's just leave that there, and then I'll come back and we'll take a look at it. Now, we're going to go over Friday's activity, but I want to talk to you about what it is that I had went over with you on that video about pullbacks. I want to give you some other information that'll help you. Uh, so yeah, pay attention to this zone. Now let's go back here 'cause I wanted to do that really quickly. I gave you some information in this video. Matter of fact, that zone, all right? You see that zone in that video? I gave you this information. I want to celebrate each one of you who took the time to like and definitely all the comments. I'm so glad that you liked the threshold, Santiago. Thank you so much. And Dimitri, yes, you're having a wonderful time. And Brad, I'm absolutely glad that you enjoyed the content. Really important. Yes, it's really valuable, the stuff that I'm trying to share. I'm trying to give people a chance to actually profit, man, without all the, the different things that happens when people are online trying to give you stuff, right? They're distracting you. I don't want that to be the case. I've been doing this long enough to know if you really want to survive with this, you don't need distractions. All right. So that's the purpose of the market to distract you, to put a lot of movement in it where you can't really, make sense of what it's about to do. So why would I do that? All right. So the universal threshold. All right. And that's what you had like Santiago. So here it is. This can happen with your live candle. So this is how far the bar will pull back before it resumes. The universal price action trend, again, we count the bars, and all you need to be able to do is count to 10 in order to get this to work. That's that price action method. This is like your permission to go that way, but I'm going to tell you something about this when it doesn't work. Um, the universal chart scale, again, we just looked at that a little bit, but I try to teach you how to read your hard right edge. So the upper part of your chart, lower part of your chart, and of course the middle of that chart, we divide that in half. We don't have to look hindsight in order to know the market will turn. It'll turn right in front of you and you won't miss it. So unless you plan on closing your eyes for a very long time, you'll see it. So you don't have to look back. You don't have to. I got additional information if you are in the market looking for professional grade education. And again, this is all about investing in self. All right. So shouldn't have to twist your arm to do that. If you're interested in doing that, then just let me know. I'm going to give you half off of the education. All right. And there's tons of information here that will make the information that's free really work well, really well. But this is all you will need, so you don't need it. All right, so you'll get half off of the private video access as well as the indicators, but they're separate. Okay, so if you want the indicators, $100. If you want the private access, that'll be 500. You just have to let me know that you watched this video or the prior one. I guess the last video as well. You can just let me know you watch one of these videos and I will give you half off. All right. State which one you want, though. All right, whether it's the indicator suite or the access, you don't need it. All right, so I'm trying to give you information so you don't have to go that far. I do encourage you to further your education. Don't be afraid to do that. It's really important that you do. I learned from the markets. I've been doing this a very long time. No one taught me, learned from the markets, and it's very difficult in order to get this stuff to work without understanding it. So if you don't have the time or the capital to learn from the market, I would strongly suggest to you go ahead and take the shortcut and do the right thing. All right, so but you don't need it. All right, my free stuff would get you there. It will. Here's some additional information I want you to know. But again, pay attention to that thumbnail. Let me bring that back to your focus. That thumbnail. All right, that thumbnail in here. And I told you guys they had made that on Thursday's high. During the day they had made it. And I told you, yeah, hopefully it won't become a problem moving into Friday. All right, hopefully. All right, well, I had a couple zones down at the bottom. They managed to hit one and lift up. Okay, they did. They hit one that was here and they lifted up, but they didn't want to stay up. All right. And so they managed to move up. Yes, they did. And they hit that zone. Right. So they went right into the back of that zone. And that's again from that video here. That was right there. I hope you guys were able to benefit from that. And even that zone that was on the bottom, it was like two of them. They ran through one, but then they stopped at the other. The one that was down here, it didn't work because they managed to come back down. And yeah, they ended up getting past that. All right, so they managed to pass that zone that was right there. But they had went to the right to the back of it. And the zones they're not wide at all. And of course, there's the activity and fell to that zone that popped up. I got a couple zones in here I'll show you again, and hopefully you can benefit from that information. But that's not what this is about. This is about being able to navigate the pullbacks. All right, so I want to help you with that. The free information, again, free. So I want to help you. You don't need any additional information, but should you already be in the market looking for it, just email me and let me know. All right, so we had the 930 happen here. And we're just trying to get the mid above the high, but I do know that this is a downtrend. There's 7 bars here, but in context of the up, okay, it's up, supposedly. Now this is a problem. I'm not going to tell you much about this. I'm not. I'm not going to do that. If you would, want to, you just count the 7 back in here and then get back with them. All right, but there's 930. Of course, when it broke this high, you can say at that point, yes, we're no longer down, and so just go ahead and try to get that set up, and there's the push. But then it turned around and made a trend down. You didn't get permission to go down. All right, so there's no need to try that. That wasn't available to you for a new low. All right, but you had it here. All right, so you had it here, and there was one right here. I'm sorry about this. Here you go, one right here, but there was no new low. And I told you guys that it's all about can you get the new low. Uh, it didn't happen. All right, so you take that loss. The moment that it makes the trend here, okay, so now you got a trend back down. They never broke this one, but wait until they make the trend again. It's fine. The moment that they made this trend again, go ahead and take the setup. Matter of fact, you can't do it on that bar because that's the trend bar. Well, actually, yes, I take that back. Your stop can be there because that mid fell beneath that low. So yes, you can put that stop there and just go ahead and, at least get the distance of that. And you would have made it. But if you're waiting for the new low, because that's what the last video was about, pullbacks, getting the new low, all right, you want it close as possible to the turn. All right, I want to say that to you. I told you that's one of the rules. Get it close to the turn. That's important. And then get your new low. So you want to be able to get your new low. Here, you were just able to get the trend distance. And I'm going to try to make this video brief because I do want to get to the real time and let you be able to read that as well. But I want to give you some additional information because of the cyclical activity they put into Friday's movement. And that could get someone in trouble. And so without disclosing, too much, again, I got tons of information I could tell you, just little subtle nuances about trading that will get you really close to price and give you an idea of what price will do without causing it to turn around. So you don't have to let it turn around in order to know what it'll do. I can tell you there's a good chance that this will happen. All right. So let's dive into something else that will help you with the free information. I'm trying to help you with the free. It's really important that you know that. All right, so you're trying to get the new high. Okay, so here's your trend. Okay, because they turned around. You can't take this back down because now you have your trend, which is the seven green bars closing higher than the prior. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can't take this back down. You can't. Just don't do that. Okay. Just go with the long and try to get the new high. Here's your new high. Bam. All right. Just trail it up with those patterns. Okay. That's important. Try to do that. Or just get out after the new high. That makes sense. Get the distance of that, which would have put you right about here. Okay. That would have put you right about here. And then exit the trade. And then this one didn't work. Now I'm gonna give you some new information that will help you when it doesn't work. I'm gonna tell you what to do. Go for that distance down. So if you're going to get stopped out for that, now do you have to do this? No. But I want to tell you, yes, when you get stopped out here, preferably let it be close to the turn. Notice that that's not there. Okay, it's too far away. It's too far away. It's not like this one. Okay, it's not like this one. We're talking about majority. We're wanting to get them involved. Okay, we want the institutions, the professionals to step in and drive this market in that direction. It's coming in a bit late. That could be something else. But what I want you to do is if you see this happening, if you see them coming to get you, I want you to go get your money back. So I want to help you out. I want to help you get that to work too. Get your money back. All right. So here, clearly, they made the trend here. They made the trend here. They're 7 bars down. This is the center of the trend. There's your pattern. The moment that the mid, and we're talking the midpoint, falls beneath that low, you're in that trade. Okay, so you're not waiting until this bar closes. There's your new low. Take out the new low. All right, it popped up. All right, now this one again would have been a loss. This would have been a loss. Now you don't have to go in here again because you need to see if this one will give you that new low, and it didn't. It's coming back to stop you out. Okay, now once it triggers you, they should get at least this far. Okay, now that's why I'm showing you this. They would have pulled down, but inevitably they reached up. Let's say, make sure how high they've reached here. Sometimes you can get it. Yeah, they only got about halfway. So they got about halfway, which is, that's not bad. Well, a little over half. That's a little over half. That's about right there. And so if you're seeing this happen, and if you want to, now if you want to, it's totally up to you because this is another one that's supposed to, get through the low. But again, you won't know until it stops you out. You won't know. But if you see them up here about to trigger you, okay, now again, when this bar's mid is coming above this bar's high, you can kind of anticipate that they're going to run it. Go ahead and get in it, and you would have got at least most of what you lost on that. All right. Maybe not so much here. All right. So this one wouldn't have worked. And again, they're coming back down. Now, that's your trend. You're not getting a permission to go back up. So there's no green pattern there. There's no, setup to get you in that direction. So you would end up taking, clearly this loss here. If you just traded in that direction, or if you just traded long, you would have took that loss there. But the caveat in which I'm proposing to you at this moment that I didn't in the last video, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you information that's in pieces, because it's important to first go and take a look at some of what I'm telling you, see if it works for you, and then if that doesn't work or the conditions may shift just a bit, try this. Now, this is something else that I'm going to tell you. Now, again, this has nothing to do with the private access information. There's far more that I can tell you about price and how to anticipate turns before they even show up. There's more that I can tell you. But here, again, you were able to get that back if you were willing to just go ahead and take that short, all right? Or not take that long at all because it's not showing up close to the turn. Remember, that's one of the rules that I put in the last video. Make sure it's close to the turn. Here it was ideal. And that should really tell you something, that if they were unable to get through this turn, with this being the absolute top of the turn, okay, that pattern is right on the top of the turn. If that's not going to work, that's bad. Okay, that's just bad. All right, so I just want you to know that it's really not that serious. It's quite simple. Here's is one and the same thing. If they're going to blow it, here you can see them coming up to blow it. And again, the high was over here. Okay, it's coming in kind of late. That's why I told you guys that in the last video. It's coming in late. That's a problem. I have you know that's a problem. That's a problem. If you see them coming to get this pattern, just go for it. Go ahead and go for it. And again, the moment that this mid gets above this high, jump in that trade and see, can you go in and extract what it is that you were going to lose on this trade. Now you can wait until it triggers you, and again, you still would have got most of it. If this trend is not going to hold, I want to tell you something, because you're not getting permission to get long. You're not seeing that buy setup on the way down here. You're not seeing it. I'm not marking the trend because it never made a trend down. So one, two, that's three, four, five, six. Oh, actually, it did. It actually made the trend down. I thought it didn't. All right, so let's go ahead and go with this. So it's seven. But if you see them about to wipe out that trend, that's something I want to tell you. If you see them about to do that, okay, if you see them about to do that, yeah, I want you to go ahead and go for that. Go for that opportunity to get some of that money on that move down. That would absolutely work. Let's lock this. All right, so let's kind of draw our center here. I want to give you some information that really will just help. All right, now again, I can't tell you everything. I just can't do that. All right, again, you got to invest in yourself if you want to learn more. But I want to give you enough with the free information that you're able to invest, should you want to invest in yourself, that you're able to do so at no cost to you. But from the market, it's easy. It's not complicated. Again, if you see them heading to go and take this out, if that mid falls beneath that low, go ahead and be a part of that. All right. That again, the trend bar happened here. Typically, you got to wait for that setup to happen, and it happened over here to get that new low, but they didn't want to give it to you. They kind of moved down there, which is considerable. Here, if the mid falls beneath that low, it would have offered you some profits, but it just wouldn't have gave you that new low. If they're going to blow this pattern, go ahead and take that up. Try to get up here, and it would have gave it to you. It would have gave it to you. Here, same thing. You would have got most of it. Again, when this mid falls beneath that low, you would have got most of that move down, but they just didn't break that low. They would have came back. And again, I believe, no, actually, this might have happened first. This down happened first. So again, you might have got triggered on this one. Again, you would have definitely been able to grab most of that. All right, most of it. It didn't get all the way to the top of that, but here they would have triggered you, and then of course at that point they would have dropped down. Now this would have happened too fast. This would have happened too fast. I'm pretty certain of it, that you probably wouldn't have been able to grab that to get through that bottom. But if you were able to grab this, then let's just do this. All right, so let's just lock that there. The moment that it would have came back, though, you would have definitely knew they was going to go at least this far, and that's something that I want you to pay attention to. All right, you're not getting the new low here. All right, you're not getting the new low here. Let me mark this. I want to make sure that I'm very transparent with you all, so you can see that trading, it does have its challenges. It does, but you can always go and get your money back. All right, it's not what you think it is. It's not complicated. And so they're always leaving you information to tell you what it is that they're likely to do if it doesn't work. Okay. So if this doesn't give you that new low, okay, they should end up here. Okay. So even though, you're having to take that loss, they should end up here. Now there's several moments here that's indicating that. And I do see that there's an additional attempt here to try to get you to go down. This bar is red, so we're going to highlight that. Now I'm leaving out details. I do have there's some things I could tell you about all of this that can make it a lot easier. But again, you would have to invest in yourself in order to know what that is. But I'm just going to put in front of you as much as I possibly can to get it to tell you what's happening. And then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. So in these moves down here at this bottom, all right, now notice we still have this bottom in place. It's still there. It hasn't went anywhere. Just like they made this top here, they moved up to it, they didn't break it. All right, so they kind of just went above here. Now these are trend distances, how far it's supposed to go once the trend is set, and the bar here is the trend, the one that the arrow is on. That's the trend. It's supposed to go that far. It made this one, even though it put a trend down. Okay, it put a trend down, but it didn't want to get here. It inevitably made it. Okay, so if you're going to cover a trend, then you probably will do even better, because they didn't break this. They just pulled up to the back of it, and then they managed to get down there. Okay, so they ended up making that trend distance here. Okay, that was over here. But I'm trying to give you an opportunity to see it a bit closer, how to interact with it in real time. And that's the thing, in real time, you can interact with this stuff. And should it not reward you, I know it may look like some losses here. Should it not reward you, don't worry. There's a good chance that you don't have to end the day that way. And I want to make sure that I express that to you. If you would have done your trades over here, one, that's two. Actually, you would have had three here. So you had your third one here. This one would have been a loss. So let's say break even on this. Okay. Then you would have had one, and you would have had two, and then you would have had three. You could have been done with this before all of this ensued. All right. But I don't want to leave you to yourself when it comes to this. When it doesn't work, that's the most important part that I want to make you aware of. When it doesn't work, it's telling you that there's an opportunity yet still available to you, that they're willing to go a certain distance if it doesn't want to work. All right. So if you're not getting your new low, okay, if you're not getting your new low, there's a good chance that they're heading in this direction. That can help you. If you're not getting your new low, okay, there's a chance that they're heading in that direction. If you're not getting your new high, you had a new high here, you were able to make that. Here's your trend. There's your new high. You were able to make that. If you're not getting your new high, okay, I want you to know that there's still an opportunity there for you to make back what it is that you lost. There's still an opportunity for you to make back what you have lost. So don't feel like your hands is tied and you're unable to get what it is that you want to happen for yourself. You had the new high here. They set the trend. Let me mark this. They set that trend and they gave you the new high. We're going to look at Bitcoin in real time. Here's your new high here. There's your setup here to get that new high. Okay. It's further away from the turn than what I would prefer. Right. And I'm telling you that that's one of the major things for it to do is to be on the turn. Okay. Be on the turn. You want it to show up on the turn. That's important. That's absolutely key for it to show up on the turn. Again, this was on the turn and they went past it. That's telling you something that these guys are not playing down here on this bottom, because that should have easily gave you that new low. I just definitely want to say that to you. I know it may look a bit busy here, but I want to say that to you. Of course, there's your trend here. They popped up. It's on the turn. Okay, it's on the turn. You need that new low. They put a little swings in this, and then inevitably they gave you your new low. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin before I go. Let's do this. All right, so there's the turnaround. Again, I can go back to the beginning of this video. All right, go back to the beginning of the video. I marked that, and at the moment, I did tell you that that was the upper part of the chart here. This was the center part of the chart. We had one, two, three, four. That's only five. It came in on the turn, on the turn. That's happening with this mid falling below that low on the turn, on the turn. Okay, so this one didn't work. All right, you got to remember some of this is not going to work. Some of these they're just not, and you have to understand why. The market moves in cycles. It's not going to just give you everything that you will want to have when you want to have it. So it changes when it's going to do it. All right, so it made it that far, okay, because that one didn't work. And then you had this one here. Do you have to just take shorts? I would prefer you to do that, but I don't want to leave you to that. I don't want to leave you to that. And so that's why I'm doing this. I want to give you some more information about the pullbacks. If you don't mind, hit the like button. Help someone else get some information to help them on their journey. All right. And if you don't mind, share your experience with the information as well. I'm sure many people would love to hear how it is that you're doing with this content. It's really important that they know, let them know how you're doing. All right, so this happened on the turn. Try not to get in any other subsequent moves on the way down. You're still waiting for your new low down here, okay, from up here. And so you'll be in this with the stop here clearly, and you would just wait until it gets here. All right. Now, what you would do again is take the setup from the moment you see it show up and hold it. All right. That's the whole purpose of me telling you this. New low, new high. But if it doesn't want to work, all right, if it doesn't want to work, they lift it up here. Okay. Actually, this didn't lift. It was this one here. I'm sorry. It was this one. They didn't give you that new low. It's okay. It's one and the same. If they don't want to give you the new low right away, it's okay. Let's just kind of lock this. That's telling you something. I want to show you this in real time because I want to make sure that I'm being abundantly clear about every time that there's a new high or a new low. Okay, every time there's a new high or a new low, the no touch, no close will be a part of it. Okay, you're not going to get this market to break any highs or any lows without this being a part of it. I want you to really embrace what that sounds like. That your permission to get in that direction in order to get that next move, in order to get that next wave, it's going to have absolute something to do with majority stepping in, helping your trade get down the board. You really need them to step in and say, hey, we're in agreement. We need this, move down. We're going to get this to go down. And you don't want to be trying to do this with your account. Again, my account, your account cannot make the market move. And so you need them to step in and say, hey, I'm willing to get this down the board. They shouldn't break this bar. Let's say this one. Let's say this one here. I believe it's that one. This one here. They shouldn't break that. I know we don't have no touch in this, but they shouldn't get past that. They shouldn't get past. So let's see if they'll turn back around and go ahead and get this new low before they move down. I'm gonna just kind of throw this here to kind of put a visual on it. It's still beneath the center of the chart. Again, it's all about where it's supposed to turn at. We don't need them to get any higher. Your worst case, let's give you a worst case scenario. They won't touch that bar. But they shouldn't get past this bar. It's still beneath the center of the chart. Okay, it's still beneath the center of the chart. I get it. They're lifting up. I totally understand that. They're lifting up. But if we're destined to get this new low, stay beneath the center of the chart. We don't have to look hindsight. We don't have to look really, really far in the historical reference in order to know that there's a chance that they should move back down. I'm gonna say it's this bar right here, and it's right at the center of the chart. Okay, it's right below it. So let's see if they'll just turn back around, give us this new low, and then I will let you guys go. Again, it's all about the pullbacks. I want to say that to you. I'm trying to give you some information to help you with your pullbacks. And I want to say again, thank you for all of the support that you guys have provided. Really important that you guys take this information and try your best to get trading to work. It's not as complicated as you would think. You may have to scale your position back. So you may not be able to use a lot of leverage if you're going to, of course, attack some of these cyclical turns. Definitely with days like Friday when they're putting, just a few trends there. You got one this way, you got one that way, you got one this way. You want to make sure that you're, just being aware what's happening. Pay attention to what they're doing and say, hey, if I didn't get my new low or my new high based on the fact that it came in immediately. So my pattern showed up fairly quick. It was right there on the turn, and you were unwilling to offer me that that direction. Take that as information, utilize it to your advantage. What is it telling you that it's likely to do if that's not going to work? If they're not going to make the new high or the new low, well, they're telling you pretty much how far they're willing to go. Oftentimes, it's associated with that majority move, and they're just using it in the opposite direction. That's all. And so I want to make sure that I'm abundantly clear about that as well, because you will have days where they're gonna do that. They're gonna do what Friday was, kind of, the ups and downs and just a lot of back and forth. And you don't want to be just caught off guard with that information. You just don't want to have to deal with that. So let's see. I know they're moving a bit slower right now, but let's see. We got two potential, again, right beneath the center of the chart that we're hoping that will work. So we're going with this bar right here. Okay, this bar right here, which is with that blue zone. And then we got this one right here. So this pretty much is how far I'm willing to say that this should, ensue. So hopefully it's just this bar, and let's get back to it. I see what they're doing. They're they're trying to force it up. But let's go ahead and see if they'll go ahead and push it back down here on this low. Let's see if they're willing to do that. Let's see. Now, they're not going to give us our new low. That would just be absolutely horrible of them. Absolutely horrible. Let me refresh this. Let's refresh this. Oh, I didn't have it all the way at the edge. I was wondering why it wasn't moving. All right, so okay, there's the bar timer. All right, so let's see if it can just again come on back down here. I know it's taking a little bit of time. I didn't want to be before you long. Let's see. Let's see. They're not giving us the new low, so clearly that happened here. If you wanted to come a bit closer and gauge it. All right, so let's do that. Okay, that's saying that they would reach up here. That's saying that. All right, so if they didn't want to give you the new low, here's that pattern. They didn't want to give it to you coming back down here. That's saying that they would get up that far. Okay, I want to show you all of this. I mean, it's not as complicated as one would think. It's really not. It's just what you believe should be available. And if they're saying that they're willing to get down there, why not just go with them? And again, I pointed that out when they were here, that they would end up back through this low. They're just coming back, all right? And so we're going to anticipate what this can turn into. All right, so let's see what this is going to turn into. There's only this bar is as far as I'm willing to say. We don't want them way up here. That would just be criminal if they were to get all the way up there. If they were to get all the way up there. So let's see if they're capable of coming out of the zone. I see it's still ticking, but they just kind of stopping at this price here. Okay, they're doing that, but I don't trust that they'll want to stay up. Now, if they get back above here, that's just going to be the end of it. At least you saw that they were able to turn from here. Again, you only had one. Okay, this was one, two, three, four. That's five. That's not a trend back up. Okay, so we're not anticipating for them to go any higher. Okay, despite this rally, we don't care anything about that. What is the trend? The trend is down, so let's anticipate that they'll stay down. And let's get that distance. I don't believe I put it here. I think I just marked it. One, two, three, four, five, six. That's seven. I think they already made this. All right, so that's seven. Let's do this. Let's just kind of lay this here while they're doing that. All right, so again, in real time, Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin, but I wanted to give you guys something in real time to look at. So that's saying that they will get there. Okay, and that's down here. Okay, let's kind of do this. I want to give you something. This the weekend. I have a little bit of time on my hands that's free. So I want to share with you some more information about pullbacks that's free. All right, that's free information that'll help you get it to work. I didn't have all of this when I was coming up. All right, in this business, I didn't have this. I didn't have the help. All right, not the help. We had a lot of people trying to tell you about the MACD and the stochastics and all that stuff that just overlaying more information will never make sense. It doesn't. If you can't make sense of the information that you have that's provided for you, adding additional information just won't help. It really won't. It won't help you. It won't. All right. So you had your new low here after the trend. So that's the new low here. So let's lock this while that's still doing that. I know they're kind of heading in the wrong direction right now, and I get that. I get that. So that's the new low. Okay, it works on anything, any market, any time frame. We just gotta take our time. One, two, three, four. That's five. They overshot this one, so that's not gonna work. And then they came back with it. All right, so let's go here. I'm gonna mark that. Hold on, I'm gonna mark it. So this one didn't work. They didn't break the high of the turn. I will say that they didn't do that, but I just don't like the fact it went past that pattern. That's all. It showed up immediately though within the turn. It didn't take long, which is good. But I don't like the fact it went above it. That's all. Let's see what the high here. You can look up here in the upper left hand corner. We got the high at 33.33. High. Oh yes, it did actually overshoot it. Okay. Well, then it came back in here, and then that's when you got your new low. All right. So you got your new low here. Kind of came right down. And I was expecting that this one would be the same way, but they're doing a bit more. Okay, so they got above this bar. That sucks. All right, just trying to go with the bars that's right beneath the center of the chart. That's all. And they're seeming to want to get past this one too, because they're not slowing down. Let's just kind of project this forward. All right, so let's just kind of, they're coming back. They're coming back. So you got to let them do it. Let's lock that. Let's hope that they won't break this bar, but it appears that that's exactly what they're intending to do. All right. And of course, again, this is the center of the chart. This is the upper portion of the chart. The mid of the trend is up here as well. But they're coming back, so they're not willing to break this low at this moment. All right. Got that decline. I told you they were up here and they'll probably turn it back around, but they're heading back in this direction. We got five. I believe that was five. So we had one, two, three, four. That's five. Again, you will want to take the first one to turn back down to get the new low. I just marked these to kind of give you additional information as to how far they'll reach up. Kind of what they're doing here. They got here, and I want to make sure that you guys are able to see that even if it doesn't work, doesn't mean that you're wrong. And just the timing of it, okay, this time it's not going to work. Just this time it's not going to work. It doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to get your money back. All right, it doesn't mean that. They may pass this bar. It doesn't mean that. I thought they would stop here either there, but they didn't want to. It's fine. It doesn't mean that. It really doesn't. So now let's do this. If this is not going to get us that new low, which it moved down, and gave us that distance, it did. Let's just do this. And that's saying that they'll get up here. That's saying that, which is through that zone. If they pass that pattern, that's saying that they'll get up to 400. And should they do that, I'm going to go. But I definitely wanted to kind of put this in front of you in real time. That way you're able to see, the activity. I want you to see it when it's moving. I know a lot of people do, historical charts. I'm not really big on that on the channel. Mostly all the videos are in real time because I want you to know it's real time that most people have trouble with. Everybody can take the chart and look hindsight and give you all kinds of, synopsis as to what's going to take place. I'm one that want to, give you something different that's not on YouTube, and I guess a plethora of it anyway. Being able to just look at the market in real time with nothing on the chart, just read the market in real time, rehearse the information, the same content, no new strategies. There's nothing new. The market is only doing up and down every day. That's nothing new about that. There's nothing new. It's only going up and it's only going down, and it's doing it every day, and it's not new. Your interpretation of it can become new, but the market is doing the same exact thing. I can tell you there's subtle nuances to the same thing, but overall, it's doing the same exact thing. It's just up and down. That's what it's doing. Depending on how you want to interact with it, in other words, how fast you want to get into the trade, how you want to come out of it, when do you plan to pick it up? Those are different things I can tell you. Places where that can happen, where it's easy to get that to work. We got the mid falling beneath the low. Okay, so maybe they'll try to get it back down. The mid falling beneath the low. Now they managed to put a trend in here, which is again kind of what they did with Friday's activity. I'm kind of glad that this is happening too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 there. Okay, so let's do this. Kind of did that with Friday's activity. So let's do this. That's saying that they'll get here. Okay, let's kind of do that. So that means they're going to get through my zone and up towards the upper part of the chart, the center of this trend here. That's what it's implying. So you can't take this short, respectfully, when dealing with the inside of this trend here. Again, but you won't know until it stops you out, which is getting above here. But we can kind of say that at this point that it's likely that it will do that. It's likely that it's going to do that because they're not turning back down. They're constantly wanting to go up. But we'll see. I mean, if they trigger this bar, yeah, just now you'll have to go for that and get your money back. If you tried to hold all the way through to the new low, okay. Now, if you're trying to get this new move here to the trend distance, well, that's another way of going about it. Again, it's still not the trend from here. The absolute low of that is here, but it's a way of going about it. You can absolutely do that. So let's see. Let's do this. I'm not going to stay up there here this whole time, but I definitely want to show you. Sometimes when they're doing all of this internal movement, if you will, there's still available moves that can be taken if your trade don't work. All right, still some movement there, still going up and down. So you can very much still be a part of being able to get back to at least break even. So, and oftentimes that should be the goal. So if you're losing, this bar value isn't correct. This is based on the NQ, so don't take each bar as being this value. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what it's worth here. I don't know, but just uh, just know that if it's going in the opposite direction, just know this: you can get back to break even. So if you take that setup and it doesn't work, doesn't mean all bets are off and you can't get some of that money back that you lost. And I hope that, of course, this video will find you well and that you're able to see when I take, a trade, if it doesn't want to yield in that direction and give me my new low or my new high for that matter, I want you to be able to get back to break even. I want to help you do that for free. Again, I don't want anything from you. I hope you can see that by now. If you've been here for any time now, you should know that there's tons of information on the channel for free. I do propose you having the option, should you already be in the market. And I always say that if you're in the market already looking for indicators or additional information, I don't want you to go spend a great deal of money with vendors, and they're going to, of course, make trading complicated for you. All the indicators are price action based. So there's this information there that you can even learn from. I want to say that to you, but it's all centered around what's fundamental, what's right here on the channel. And so I'm not straying away from what's relative. What's important is the information here on this channel. All right, and even the private playlist there's foundation to that. All right, there's a foundation. I'm sharing that foundation with you, but there's a lot of other nuances and details about price movement, when it will turn, stuff like that. And again, before it turns, hey, if it gets here, it's doing this, it's going to turn around. That stuff is important. Absolutely important. Really important. Let's see, did it break this bar? Yeah, it broke above it, but they're doing it again. All right, they're doing it again. They're probably going to come down to the lower, which is roughly, let's say right about here. This is the lower half of the chart. You don't really want them down here if they're going to go up. Okay. So, but they're doing it again. They're making the mid fall beneath the low. Okay. The mid of this bar is falling beneath that low. There's that pattern. Uh, let's just see. Let's just see, because we got this here. But again, this is inside. This is inside of this pullback. This is just a pullback. This trend is happening inside of it. I don't want you to be without being able to trade in this direction. Should they want to run this pullback, you can still do it. Count your bars. Just make sure it's a trend there at best. Or if they're getting close enough to blowing it, don't be too eager to jump in it first. See if they're offering you that setup to see if they can get you there and get past that turn. See if they would offer you that. They're still above the center of this supposed trend here. Again, the turn happened from down here. I just have you say that, and you'll find that that can be a problem too. That they'll do something like that. All right, that they'll make a turn. Let's go to the NQ. I believe that was on Friday's high. Give you an example really quickly here. I know they're moving a bit slow, but I definitely want to give you an example. I want to give you an example. All right, let's go with this big drop that they did. All right, just kind of put some information here for you. Remember, they were in an uptrend. All right, they did this big drop. Is that a trend? I don't want to dive too much into this, but is that a trend? No, it's 2 bars down at best. It went back up. Now, did it make the new high? No, it didn't break that. Okay, so what did they do? They made a trend on the inside of it. Okay, and so then they began to trend down, and then that's when they came back below here. All right, so now let's go back to Bitcoin, because I want you to know sometimes they do this. They do this kind of movement. All right, they give you a pullback. and then they put a trend inside of it. Okay. And that's, that move down. That was at best a pullback. They went back up, but they couldn't break that high. And then they put a trend inside of what? The pullback. And then it became a trend and they stayed down. This could happen here, so they could have your pullback up here, not want to give you that new low, make a trend inside of your pullback, and then go up and just stay up. They could. They could. And so I want to make sure that you have additional information on how to trade that. I'm trying to hold the video. I hope you know that. May seem redundant, the things I'm saying. I hope you find that some of it useful. But I'm trying to hold the video so you can actually see it play out because I want to see it get here. I'm not worried about it getting up here. If it get here, it can absolutely get there too. But I want to see it get here. If it's going to, take this pullback out. I just want to see if that'll show up. I just want to see if it'll show up. I just would like to see if that will show up, if that's on the agenda. Now, I'm not going to hold it, being that it spent so much time in this direction. I'm not going to hold it until it gets past here. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I will give it another couple bars to see if it'll get up here to at least here. But I'm trying to make sure that you're able to see it happen in real time. I want you to see this information in real time. So that way you'll know this channel is different. It's trying to make sure that you're informed. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to distract you with a lot of different things. This is probably one of the only places online where you don't have all of this. All right. If you really take your education serious, you don't need this stuff in front of you. All right. You don't need that. That makes trading much more difficult than what it has to be. You need someone to give you the chart, tell you how to look at it. How should I be looking at this chart? The information that it's providing me is providing me price and time. That's all we got. This is invaluable down here. This is invaluable. I'm trying to help you as much as I can uh, to deal with what's invaluable. Now, this is priceless. What I'm trying to tell you is priceless. There's no amount of money you can put on what it is that I'm sharing with you. And there's far more that I can tell you about the timepiece. The timepiece is important. Price, this is artificially priced at best. But let's go with this. This the center of the chart again, that zone. This the upper portion of the chart. Let's go right about here, which is roughly our center of our trend. And then of course, the halfway point of the chart is roughly down here near the center of that. Now I'm going to give or take. It's not perfect. All right, it's not perfect. So don't be mad if I'm a few points off on this one. All right, so let's go here. Let's just leave that like that. All right, so let's leave it like that. They're kind of slowing down at the zone again. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna stay up here until I break that bottom. I'm not doing that. But I definitely, because I don't want to bore you. I don't want to bore you. But I know again Friday gave just a little bit of information that again may have gotten in the way. I'm gonna give you those zones. Let me do that while this is doing that. All right, so I gave you that zone on Friday. I gave you that zone that was here. All right, and again, you got to go back to that video. It was in here. That was right there. All right, it was in that video here. That was this zone here. They went up there and they hit it. All right, and then they turned around. Now they got another one they made here. Okay, but I'm gonna show you what's below. Let's see what we got. Do we got another one below here? Yeah, we got another one down here. We got another one down. Let's look at the price on this exactly so you'll know. I don't believe they should get this far. I would hope that they wouldn't want to do that. But let's look at that price. 99.75. So the back of that zone is 799.75. Hopefully they don't want to do that. Hopefully they don't want to do that. All right. So and again, there's another zone here. Can they move up there and fall again? Yeah, but hopefully this is the bottom and they'll just go up. Hopefully that's the case. All right, but let's they're doing this. All right, they're doing this. So let me open this back up. Let me open this back up. Let me open this back up here. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Because they're just taking forever. I'm gonna put this on the thumbnail. So on the thumbnail of the video, just look at the thumbnail, just like this one. Okay, just like this one. This is the thumbnail. I want you to go back, take a look at the thumbnail, because I'm not going to hold this video while it's doing this. This is just ridiculous right now. They're moving so slow. But I'm gonna actually include it on the thumbnail. I'm gonna let it play out till it gets to either here or here, and I'll include it on the thumbnail. Again, what you want to do, we'll go back to this NQ really briefly, and then I'm going to make sure I put this on the thumbnail. If you are going short or long, if you're going short or long based on the rules that I put in the pullback video, this is just an additional bit of information that I want you to utilize. If you're going for that pullback, okay, and they manage to stop you out. All right. So if you tried to get short here, if you tried to get short, let's do this one, because I think this one would have gave you the distance on that down, but not the new low. All right. And they didn't want to get through that high, which is weird. Okay. Well, that's fine. That one didn't want to go that way. That's fine. That's fine. Again, I get that. I understand that they wanted to go down. Well, try it again. After they make that trend, just try it again. But down here, absolutely down here, because you could have got that back easily on the way back down. Down here, when they're doing this, make sure you get that trend. That's number one. Go ahead and lock that in. Just understand that that's down there. Just lock that in, because they never broke it. All right. They came really close, but they never broke it. And then when they stopped here, I want you to do that too. Trend, trend distance up here. They made it almost to it. And then they made another trend down. I want you to mark both of these. Just mark both of them. Okay. Because oftentimes, if they're going to play with you, it's going to happen from here. Kind of just tell you a little bit more information. Kind of just hold your hand with all of this other stuff. And when it comes to believing it, just kind of hold your hand. Don't go too heavy in either direction. Just conservatively, if you can, trade it. All right. If your trade don't work, so if you're trying to get long and it doesn't work, hurry up and just try to get that back. Okay. Just hurry up and try to get that back. If you're short, don't want to work. Now look at this scenario, because it definitely offered you something. It just didn't want to give you that new low. Try to get that back. Don't keep doing it. You don't have to keep doing it. Just stay in it. If you're already in it from here, you don't have to get in again up here. Just hold it. See if it can get there. It would have got almost there, almost close enough. Okay, close enough. It just didn't want to get up there. Be sure you're trailing it up too. If they put you another trend down, it was here. They don't want to give you that distance. They did rotate down, but they didn't want to break that low. If they're going to run this, try to get most of that back. If you can get most of it back, get out of it, or try to trail it up. It didn't work quite as well as this one, as far as trying to trail it up. They turned around, they wanted to come back. Okay, now the trend was set here. You could have jumped this one. I'm gonna be honest, you could have jumped this, and you could have took that low out, because that was 6. You're almost there. You see, the velocity on that. Just go ahead and try to run that low and get that money. But if not, if they want to come back through that pattern, they're telling you that there's a good chance they're going this far. And so you could have tried this one here. If this one don't want to get you through the low, it did yield you a move. I want you to see that when you take this pattern and lift it up, it didn't break it, and it yield you a move, but not the new low. There's a good chance they're going that far. I want you to read this like this. Here's that pattern here. It would have gave you the distance of that pattern. It just didn't want to give you the new low. Again, they're going this far. Okay. And one would even say this bar is green. I mean, red. It's red on the inside. If they don't want to give you that distance down, we can do that one as well. Okay. If they don't want to give you the distance down, they're going at least this high. So hopefully, just hopefully, that will, and again, same thing with these longs. Okay. See? All right. Same thing with these shorts. If they don't want to stay down, well, guess what, people? All right. Same thing with these shorts. I mean, with these longs. I'm sorry, these longs. So there's an uptrend. Same thing. They're going to go at least this far. That kind of makes sense. I absolutely wish you all the best with your trading. I will be putting the snapshot on the thumbnail so you can have an idea of what it did. All right. That's what I want you to be mindful of. Allow it to get you back to break even when it doesn't work. Take care.